Okay, welcome to the November 13, 2024 regular meeting of the Chino Valley Fire District Board of Directors. The time is 6 p.m. I will call the meeting to order and take roll, and everyone is present except for Director John DeMonico, who has an excused absence. Board members, please make sure when you comment, your microphones are on, or remember to talk directly into the microphone. All right, if you would all please stand and join. Tom, would you lead us in the flag salute, please?
Yes, thank you. Please join us in saluting our great flag. Ready? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chapter, would you lead us in the invocation, please?
Good evening. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Lord God, we come before you this evening, and we praise you, Father God, for who you are. Lord, we ask your presence be here in this room, Lord, and blessing our board of directors, our fire chief, fire staff, fire administration, firefighters on and off duty, Father. Lord, may you bless us with wisdom and direction as we go over the presentation and the announcements, Father, the service awards, Lord. Thank you, Father God, that we can come here together in fellowship. Lord, we love you and we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Clerk of the board, do we have any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda tonight. Welcome, everyone. The first item on our agenda is presentations and announcements. The first item is Employee Service Awards, 15 years of service. And tonight, we recognize our very own Board Vice President, Sarah Ramos-Evinger, and we invite you to please come forward.
Vice President Ramos-Evinger has been a board member of the Chino Valley Fire District since 2009. During that time, she served as president and vice president of the board of directors. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, Sarah served for over 8 years as a board member for the Chino Valley Fire Foundation and volunteered for many other fire district programs, such as Spark of Love Toy Drive and the Make a Child Smile program. Sarah has been involved in many Chino Valley community activities, such as the Spanish Trails Girl Scouts, Chino Hills Little League, AYSO, and local Chino Hills schools. In 2005, Sarah received the Fred L. Burns Community Service Award. Receiving this award reflects the recipient's dedication and commitment to fire and life safety education within the Chino Valley. Congratulations, Sarah, for 15 years of service.
So before I hand it to Sarah, it's pretty fitting that it matches her outfit because she's always very well put together. Sarah, thank you so much for all that you've done for me for this district. Well before I even got here. So you served on chiefs, you served as a board member, you've always supported everything that I've needed to get accomplished in a very loyal and a committed way, and I'm certainly appreciative as I know all the personnel. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Can I, John, I'd like to get the board members,
Yeah.
but can I say something
Yep,
really
absolutely.
quick while we
Of
bring
course.
the guys
Yes.
up?
Yes, the board would-
I want to thank my Lord and Savior for this appointment. He appointed me to serve my community as a board member and to be responsible for the fire and life safety for the people of our community. And I am so humbled and grateful that I'm able to continue to be able to serve in this capacity. I serve with amazing gentlemen, you guys, amazing gentlemen who have no selfish motivation. Their hearts are in it 100% to serve the community, to serve this district, and to serve everyone around. I just have to say that I sit with them, I argue with them, I joke with them. We've been through a lot of hard up and down times. Everyone knows, through the loss of my husband, how this district supported me. And I feel that I have been beyond blessed to get this appointment, and I continue to be blessed by it. And I just want to thank all the hard work that everyone up here, there's a lot of hard work, not besides our board members, that goes into every single meeting, every single event, everything, just to make sure that we are serving our community. So that's what I just want to say, and I want to just thank and thank my constituents for being able to continue to have this opportunity to serve in this capacity. So that's all, and with that, I wanted to get all my board members, my family couldn't be here tonight, but I would love them if they could.
We'll send.
Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Here's another 15 years.
I'll be 45 minutes.
The next item on our agenda is an Employee Service Award for 20 years of service. Firefighter paramedic Corey Freestone unfortunately was not able to attend tonight's meeting. Although he could not be here tonight, we want to recognize him.
Corey Freestone joined the Chino Valley Fire District in November 2004 as a firefighter paramedic. He studied fire technology at Mount San Antonio College while also serving as a reserve fire inspector for the Chino Valley Fire District. Corey went on to complete his training at Mount Sax Fire Academy and later completed his paramedic certification at Crafton Hills College. Corey currently resides in the city of Orange with his wife Jessica and has 2 children, Emily and Taylor. Corey is currently assigned to Medic Truck 61 B shift. Congratulations on your 20 years of service with the district, Corey.
So although Corey couldn't be here, for those of you that know Corey, he's very committed to his craft. He's one of those that puts a lot of time in to understand the skills of a firefighter. So Corey, we're sorry you couldn't be here, and we look forward to being able to honor you in the future. Before we close out presentations, Ms. Rita, could you, but before we close out presentations, I know this is probably gonna embarrass her extremely a lot, but Angela just completed her master clerk certification, which is a very challenging thing to do, so we wanted to say congratulations to you as well. Adding value to the district.
Wait a second, come on over here and take a picture.
So Angela thought she would be sneaky, and she caught Rita bringing in some balloons and thought that was done. So anyway, congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I'll hold this.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Harvey, that's a very elite group. There are not many master clerks in the whole nation. It's a big deal.
Yes. Okay, we're not gonna have a 5-minute break since there's no picture taking, it's all been done, so we'll just continue on.
Oh. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you again. I do appreciate the recognition. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item on our agenda is public hearing. And President Luth, would you be so kind as to open the public hearing?
I'm sorry?
The public hearing.
I'm sorry, the public hearing for property declared for weed abatement is now open.
Okay, the item tonight is presented by our Fire Marshal Danielle O'Toole, and the purpose is for the public to comment on declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement.
Good evening, President Luth and members of the board. At the April board meeting, Resolution 2024-06 was adopted, providing authority for any properties found to be non-compliant with our vegetation management ordinance to be sent a notice for abatement. Our fall inspections began in early September, with additional properties being noticed in October. Each property owner has been given a reasonable time frame to comply with the actions that they need to abate to bring their property into compliance. The deadline for compliance is today. Any properties still found to be non-compliant will be sent an administrative citation and will be sent to our private contractor for abatement. In accordance with our resolution, we are to hold a public hearing allowing property owners to address the board on this matter. It is recommended that the Board of Directors review public comment on the declaring and noticing of property owners for weed abatement and subsequent actions and charges, as well as make any rulings on any and all objections raised regarding the proposed removal of weeds and said charges.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item. Is anyone present who would like to address the board? Okay, seeing none.
Okay, so the public hearing is now closed. It's time for any board comments. Let's see here, Director Howie.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, Director Krieger. Vice President Ramos Evinger.
I just want to say thank you, and I think we're almost there.
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Appreciate
I
it.
didn't want to put that little peach out.
Same time next year.
Okay, and so there's no action to be taken. Thank you.
Thanks.
The next item on the agenda is public communication. This is the time and place for the general public to address the Board of Directors about subjects that do not appear elsewhere on the agenda. The public may address items on the agenda at the time addressed by the board. Due to board policy and Brown Act requirements, action may not be taken on any issue not on the agenda. When you address the board, please state your name and address prior to making your remarks, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. I have no written request to speak under public communications. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none. The next item on the agenda is the liaison reports to Fire District. And Vice Mayor Art Bennett from City of Chino Hills, would you like to address the board?
None this evening. Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
And do we have a member from the Chino Valley Fire Foundation who would like to address the board at this time? Okay. Seeing no other members present for the liaison reports, the next item on the agenda is the consent calendar.
Okay, do we have any public comments on the consent calendar?
We have no written request to speak. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board? Okay, seeing none.
All right, do any board members wish to pull an item from the consent calendar for discussion?
I'll
Seeing-
motion to approve.
All right. Do we have a second?
I'll do it, second. Tom and I were sitting there staring at each other.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice President Ramos Evinger, a second by Director Krieger. I will now request a voice vote. Director Howie?
Yes.
Director Krieger?
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger?
Yes.
And myself, Harvey, yes. And so we have 4-0-1 with one absent, that being Director DeMonico.
The next item on the agenda is under new business, item number 8, classification and compensation for accounting manager position. Purpose is to review and consider adoption of resolution number 2024-19, establishing the classification and compensation for accounting manager position. The report is by Finance Director Mark Shaker.
Thank you. Over the past several years, the responsibilities of the Finance Department have expanded significantly. Recently, we've been successful in securing several grants, which is great for the district, but it brings along new reporting and compliance requirements. For instance, federal grants exceeding the threshold of $1 million now, which was recently increased from $750,000, will start triggering what's called single audits, which will focus on grant compliance. Aside of federal grant compliance, there's also state grant compliance, and any other type of grants we may receive in the future. Managing these obligations adds complexity and increases the department's workload. Currently, we don't have backup for critical roles such as the accountant and payroll functions. This limits the flexibility of staff scheduling, as they must carefully time their leave around audits, payroll cycles, and budget reviews. The accounting manager would help address this by providing essential day-to-day oversight of operations and ensuring continuity in the case of planned or unplanned absences. The additional person will help with compliance, increased segregation of duties, and increased internal control systems over district processes. Additionally, it's recommended that we start to take a look at possibly upgrading our outdated accounting system. Our current system is New World, is a little inefficient and requires many manual processes which consume valuable staff time and increases the risk of errors. The addition of this position will help with implementing a new, more modernized system and ensure a smooth transition over efficient operations moving forward. This would streamline processes and free up staff time and improve accuracy throughout the department. It's unknown how much longer our current system will continue to be supported, and there are already rumors that Tyler will no longer support the system in the future. Sooner or later, we'll have to transition into a more scalable and future-proof system that will leverage advancing technologies which our current system does not have the ability to accommodate. The estimated fully burdened cost for this position is approximately $190,000 a year, which includes salaries and benefits. And given the anticipated recruitment timeline, we expect the fiscal impact to be absorbed into the current budget year. Any necessary adjustments could be made at mid-year if needed. This item was reviewed by the HR committee last month, and staff's recommendation is for the board to approve the establishment of the position and to approve Resolution 2024-19, approving the classification and compensation for the position. That's the end of my report. I'm available for any questions you might have.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
I have no written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none.
All right, and now it's time for board comments. Director Howie.
Yeah, Mark, so we're looking outside the organization for a person to fill this position. We don't have anybody inside to do this or not?
It will be an open recruitment, and we encourage staff to apply.
Okay.
But yeah, we anticipate. I'm not really sure. It's been difficult, from what I understand, attracting people in the accounting profession. So we'll see what the turnout is like.
Okay.
It just seems to be kind of like a chronic issue across many professions at this time, where there's just not as many people, especially in government,
Right.
than there used to be. So
I was kind of reading the qualifications about, somebody has to know about government, obviously financial, obviously has to be pretty much an accountant, I would think. Although the classification says manager, but not really managing anybody, correct? This is more of an independent position.
it is a hands-on manager. So while they would have management over personnel, they are also doing work.
Okay.
So the accounting manager especially in the governmental sector, is not necessarily a hands-off supervisor, because there's just too much to do. So they would be expected to not only supervise work, but also perform the work.
Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting job description here. They look like they have to have at least 5 years' experience, pretty much be an accountant, be a manager, have government experience. It'll be interesting to see who you can get to apply for this position.
Yeah, when I was a finance manager, which is kind of synonymous, but it is a catch-all. So you're expected to be able to pretty much do anything in the department, just because at that level you have done all of those things climbing up to that rank. But yeah, there's a specific group of people who prefer that position and don't necessarily want to be the director because of public speaking and all that other stuff. But it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I definitely think we need it.
They don't want to put up with us.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, like I said, I do think we definitely need it, so that's all I have.
Thank you. Director Krieger.
No comments.
Okay, Vice President Ramos Evinger.
We discussed this in our Human Resource Committee, and definitely feel it's a need, especially with the software. We've known that software has had issues for quite some time. And the fact that company, I know you're saying that they might not, I think it's pretty well known that they will not be supporting or enhancing the software for any future enhancements, because they have other products that they can offer that would, probably work far more efficient than anything that this is today. So that's just my comment. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with Tom's comments, it's pretty extensive job description, but yeah, I
I
understand.
especially like the 20, they have to be able to lift 25 pounds. So are you gonna put down 25 pounds and pick that up?
That's the budget.
30
That's the budget document.
That's a heavy file box, right? Okay.
Okay, so at this time, I would request a motion.
Yeah, so moved.
Okay,
I'll second it.
second, all right. We have a motion from Director Howie, a second from Director Krieger. I will now do a voice, what's it called? A voice vote. Director Howie,
Yes.
Director Krieger,
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item carries 401, one absent, that being Director DeMonico.
The next item on the agenda is item number 9, addition of one shift battalion chief position. Purposes for the Board of Directors to consider for approval the addition of one shift battalion chief position, and the report is by Deputy Chief Jeremy Alt.
Well, good evening, everyone. As stated, what we're talking about tonight is adding an additional shift battalion chief so that we can move forward with the implementation of the 2nd Battalion, if you will, starting January 2025. And while I could actually speak for quite a while as to all the reasons why this is going to benefit not only the district and our personnel and the community, I'll focus on 4 main areas tonight. The first is an improvement directly to emergency response, having that 2nd Battalion available for greater response times by splitting the district, adding depth for incident command, et cetera. Second, hopefully a more efficient distribution of administrative duties amongst the battalion chief. We'll essentially be moving from 5 battalion chiefs to 6, and with that, we'll be redistributing some of those administrative duties. Third major component is leadership development. By having additional chief officers available to not only support each other throughout their shift, they'll also have a better ratio, if you will, from battalion chief to captain. Right now, our battalion chief supervises 8 officers, and with this split, that'll be a ratio of 4 to 1, so there'll be greater opportunities for that leadership development from battalion chief to captain. And finally, and most importantly, by implementing it now in January 2025, we'll have an opportunity to stabilize our battalion operations prior to the onboarding of Station 68. So as we manage all of our change, rather than waiting and deploying both at the same time, moving to a 2 battalion style deployment, we will have to make some operational changes in how we do business. That'll give us an opportunity to get those things cemented and then take on the additional station as part of that deployment. Again, those are those 4 key areas. I could go on, but I'll stick to that tonight. With that, the expenses of this position, since we're gonna be transitioning 2 of the 2 administrative battalion chiefs will transition back to shift. There's gonna be a slight, modest impact to the budget, of probably about 127 for the balance of this year. But anything moving forward would be adjusted at mid-year and absorbed in the new budget moving forward. With that, this item was presented to the HR committee, where it was recommended that we bring it forward to the entire board. And I'll move to my recommendation. And our recommendation this evening is to approve the Human Resource Committee and staff's recommendation for the additional battalion chief position. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present here who would like to address the board on this item at this time? Seeing none.
All right, it's time for board comments and questions. Director Howie.
No comment.
All right, Director Krieger,
No comments.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Thank you for the fabulous report, also in the Human Resources meeting as well, in that committee meeting, so thank you.
Yep.
I'll let you comment, Harvey.
No, I'd just say, we've certainly been talking about this for quite some time. This is not a surprise. We've been working towards this for a while. And so, yeah, understand it. All right, at this time, I'd like to request a motion.
Motion to approve.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Vice President Ramos Evinger, a second by Director Howie. I will now call a voice vote. Director Howie.
Yes.
Director Krieger.
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
Myself is a yes. So item carries 401. One absent. Director John DeMonico.
The next item on the agenda is item number 10, purchasing policy update. Purpose is for the Board of Directors to review and approve recommended updates to the district purchasing policy and provide direction to staff. Report is by Finance Director Mark Shaker.
Thank you. The purchasing policy was last updated in August 2021. As we near the bid award for Station 68 and the RFP for the project manager for the station, staff thought it was a good idea to take a look at our purchasing policy in order to determine if there were any updates needed. We worked with legal counsel and found a few minor but key updates to the policy in order to reflect the district's current practices and more accurately represent that in the policy. The changes center around the incorporation of language to memorialize the district's current use of an online application rather than physical paper documents that were used in the past. The updated policy now incorporates the district use of Planet Bid System, a web-based vendor and bid management platform. We use the platform for public projects over $10,000, as well as purchases of supplies and equipment exceeding $100,000. Additionally, noticing requirements were updated to include the use of the district's website, as well as posting on Planet Bids, and bid documents and results will be accessible via Planet Bids for public transparency. There's no other changes at this time recommended with regards to purchasing authority and thresholds. The red line policy is attached to the report. Staff recommends that the Board of Directors review and approve the updated purchasing policy and give directions to staff.
All right, do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board on this item at this time? Okay, seeing none.
All right, thank you. It's now time for board comment and questions. Director Howie.
No questions.
All right, Director Krieger.
You.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
No questions.
And myself, we discussed this in finance meeting, and again, well presented, and thank you for your presentation tonight as well. So,
Motion to approve.
all right.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Director Howie, a second by Director Krieger. I'll now request a voice vote. Director Howie.
Yes.
Director Krieger.
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item carries 4-0-1 with one absent, John DeMonico.
You're doing good. Keep it up.
Well, I just want to make sure you really
Bless
said
you.
yes. It was
I
so
said
quiet.
yes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The next item on the agenda is item number 11, triennial firefighter Class B uniform replacement. Purpose is for the Board of Directors to approve the award of RFQ number 2024-01, triennial firefighters Class B uniform replacement to Two Hot Uniforms, Inc. And the report tonight is by Battalion Chief Greg Gable.
Good evening, President Luth, directors, staff, and community members. The purpose of today's presentation is to review the quotes received for RFQ number 2024-01, issued to secure replacement Class B uniforms for all uniformed personnel. The agreed-upon MOUs state Class B uniforms are replaced every 3 years or triennially. We are seeking your review and direction on how to proceed with awarding the contract. To provide some background, the district developed uniform specifications and issued RFQ number 2024-01 to solicit quotes to purchase Class B uniform replacements. This RFQ included safety and non-safety personnel uniforms and optional embroidery details that may be added to each uniform. The applicable timeline is as follows. The notice of the RFQ was published in a local newspaper of general circulation. It was also posted on Planet Bids, providing access to interested vendors. The quote submission deadline was October 7th of this year at 3 o'clock. We received 2 quotes in response to this RFQ as shown in the table below. The Finance Committee met on October 28th and requested that this be taken to the Board of Directors for further consideration. As per district policy, the award will be made to the lowest responsible bidder. The budget allocated for the replacement of these uniforms in fiscal year 2024-2025 in the amount of $205,000 under account number 100-60-62-000-7025. Both vendors included pricing for the required uniforms and optional embroidery items. These optional embroidery details are expected to cost no more than an additional $10,000. Two Hot Uniforms Incorporated provided the lowest quote at $163,631.88 within the budget allocation. Sinatra Uniforms LLC submitted a bid of $226,857.92, exceeding the available budget. Given the difference in pricing and the district's policy to award the contract to the least responsible bidder, Two Hot Uniforms, Inc. appears to be the most favorable option. And we have had a good working relationship with them for the past 5 years, pardon me. Recommendation would be for the Board of Directors to award the contract for Class B uniform replacement in the amount of $163,631.88, including the optional embroidery details not to exceed an additional $10,000 for a total of $173,631.88 to Two Hot Uniforms, as per district purchasing policy of the least responsible bidder. Thank you for your time, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have regarding this presentation.
Thank you. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak. Is there anyone present here tonight who would like to address the board on this item? Seeing none.
All right, time for board comments. Director Howie.
So Chief Gable, when I was reading this, I said, what's a hot uniform? I didn't realize that was actually the company. So thank you for clarifying that. My only question was, it's $163,000. Did we do this 3 years ago, and has the price gone up? Has it been pretty much the same? Is it ballpark, or can you give me a little?
I'm glad you asked that question. So it was $143,000 back in '21, so it went up 15.4%. Back in '18, it was $116,000, so it's gone up 33% over the last 2 cycles.
Okay, that's pretty normal the way everything goes up nowadays, so, okay, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, Director Krieger.
No comments, thank you.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Oh, we already discussed this, so.
Yeah, I agree. We went over this, did a nice presentation to the Finance Committee, and, and understanding the performance of Two Hot uniforms in the past, and the lowest bid, it makes total sense. So with that, I would like to request a motion.
Motion to approve.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Vice President Ramos Evinger and a second by Director Krieger. And I will now do a voice vote. Director Howie?
Yes.
Director Krieger? Vice President Ramos Evinger?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item carries 4-0-1, one absent, being Director John DeMonico.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 12, Senate Bill 1205 Compliance Report for State Mandated Annual Fire Inspections, and the report tonight is by Fire Marshal Danielle O'Toole.
Good evening again. Each November since the approval of Senate Bill 1205, a report is required to be provided to the board regarding the status of our state mandated inspections. Said inspections are those identified in the Health and Safety Code, which includes every public and private school as well as specific residential occupancies. Fire agencies are required to inspect their state mandated facilities on an annual basis. I do have a slight correction to the staff report that was submitted in your packet. So the report called out that the district has a total of 206 occupancies. However, it has been discovered that two occupancies no longer fall into this category, bringing our new total to 204. Community Risk Reduction has completed the initial inspections on 203 of them, with the remaining site to be receiving their inspection by year end. It is recommended that the Board of Directors receive and file the information presented.
All right. Do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board on this item? Seeing none.
All right, time for board comments. Director Howie.
I'm good.
Director Krieger.
Oh, thank you.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Okay, I'm gonna comment,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take 10 minutes, Mike Krieger. No.
Go for it.
I just want to thank you and your team for already kicking out the 204, where we're at, on top of everything else that's been going on. So thank you so much for for your diligence and taking care of this. So
Thank
I know there's agencies that are behind in this, and I just want to say thank you very much for that. And thank you for the staff report.
Thank you.
Yep, I would agree with that. Thank you. All right, at this time, do we, is this take either that a motion, or we're just filing? Okay, thank you. Right, yeah, okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is item number 13, State and Federal Legislative Advocacy Service. The purpose is for the Board of Directors to consider proposals of federal and state legislative advocacy services for Chino Valley Fire District, and the report tonight is by Fire Chief Dave Williams.
Good evening, President Luke. For discussion purposes, the Chino Valley Fire District contracted with Rojas Communications Group beginning in fiscal year 22-23 for state and federal legislative advocacy services. During this time, the Rojas Communications Group provided a wide range of government relations consulting services to the district. A notable accomplishment included working with the district to secure funding of $6.25 million for the construction of a new fire station and essential resource facility. Since this time, the Rojas Communication Group has notified the district staff that they have reorganized and changed their name to Rojas Public Affairs. The reorganization ultimately resulted in two separate and distinct entities offering separate legislative advocacy services. The Legislative Committee met on November 4th, 2024 to discuss and consider the two new individual proposals submitted by both the Rojas Public Affairs and Browdy and Associates for legislative advocacy services. The Legislative Committee desires to maintain relationships with both firms and is in support of continuing with Rojas Public Affairs for state legislative advocacy and with Browdy and Associates for federal legislative advocacy services. At the district's request, both firms submitted proposals for services as noted in the table that has been provided to the Board of Directors. The Legislative Committee recommended the item be presented to the Board of Directors for consideration of approval. So the recommendation is that the Board of Directors approve the proposal submitted by Browdy and Associates for federal legislative advocacy services and Rojas Public Affairs for state legislation advocacy services for each in the amount of $3,500 per month, and authorize the fire chief to execute related contract documents on behalf of the fire district. And that concludes my report unless you have any questions.
All right, do we have any requests to speak?
No written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none.
All right, time for board comments or questions. Director Howie.
Oh, thank you, Harvey. Yeah, this is a much needed situation for us. We've done so well for the first year in advocacy, and we actually had a tremendous rate, I think, for the first year that we got. And even though this is an increase, it's still very much in line with a lot of agencies around. We're still a little bit below other agencies. So I think it's fine for us for this particular proposal. So we met and realized that they're doing fantastic work for us, and the rate is well in line. So that's what I got to say.
All right, Director Krieger.
Yeah, I agree. I think that each of them individually have done a great job, with Jason working on the federal and Jaime doing the state. And it's been great relationships on both sides, and I think they've done a great job. And I've asked around as well, and this is still, it's very fair in the marketplace.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Vice President Ramos-Evinger.
I want to say that I feel that this has probably been one of our best decisions to bring on this group to advocate for us, both in state and federal. The different relationships that we've been able to build throughout the state and in DC, and just putting the fire district out there where people know that we are there. We're, instead of staying in California, like, people know us, and I appreciate the relationships that we've created, partnerships. And I wanna thank both of you gentlemen for being on that legislative committee and just pushing this forward. So, yeah, that's all, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we rely a lot on both of you and your expertise in working on this, but both of these gentlemen have done a wonderful job of getting to know everybody, getting to know the district, people in the district, working on our behalf. Going up to Sacramento for Ledge Days is a whole nother experience now that we have them engaged. And we actually meet with some people that we want to meet with. It's absolutely been worth it.
Yeah, and you know, Harvey, it's not just the team here. Our management team has been fantastic. They really grasped the situation, gone full bore. Even the union has done great in their relationships with all the partners. So it's been a whole team effort, and it's really paid off.
Yeah, and the finance department had to step in and do a whole bunch of paperwork involved too, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. All right, at this time, I'll request a motion.
So moved.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion from Director Howe, a second from Vice President Ramos Evinger. I'll now do a voice vote. There it is. Director Howie.
Yes.
Director Krieger.
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Item carries 401, one absent. Director DeMonico.
And the next item on the agenda is item 14, California Special District Association bylaws update. And the purpose is for the Board of Directors to discuss casting a vote to adopt the proposed CSDA bylaws amendments as presented. And I'll be doing the report tonight. Included in the agenda packet is a red line copy of the changes to the CSDA bylaws. The amendments are outlined in the staff report and include amendments to the following sections: rights of retired members, new section under Article 3, Director, Section 2, Term of Office, updates to noticing ballot and election timeframes, new section under Article 3, Director, Section 7, Director disqualification, and committee structure. It is recommended that the board review the proposed amendments to the bylaws and cast a vote to either approve or oppose the proposed amendments. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board at this time? Seeing none.
All right, it's time for board comments or questions. Director Howie.
Yeah, no comment.
All right, Director Krieger.
No.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
No comment.
Yeah, it's a lot of cleanup stuff and some common sense changes, so yeah, no questions here. So at this time, I'd like to request a motion.
So moved.
All right, a second, please.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion from Director Krieger, a motion, did I say it right? A motion from Director Krieger, and a second from Vice President Ramos Evinger. We'll now do a voice vote. Director Howie.
Yes.
Director Krieger.
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item carries 401, one absent. Director DeMonico.
Thank you, President Luth. Just for clarification, the motion was to approve the proposed amendments?
Yes.
Is that correct? Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
The next item on the agenda is item number 15, Board of Directors selection of officers. Purpose is for the Board of Directors to nominate and vote for the position of President and Vice President effective December 1, 2024. And the discussion tonight will be led by President Harvey Luth.
And before we begin, do we have any requests to speak?
We have no written request to speak on this item. Is there anyone present who would like to address the board? Seeing none.
Okay. All right, so this is that time of year where nominations are open as we prepare for our December 1 change. And so nominations are open for the office of president for 2025. Do we have any nominations?
Well, I'd like to say, Director Luth, I think you've done a great job this year, but it's time for a change.
I agree.
No, I'm kidding. No.
I would be old.
I'd like to nominate Director Evinger to be president.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Okay. No.
Will you accept?
Yeah. Okay, so nominations are now closed for president. Isaac, do we need to actually do a vote? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I will now request a voice vote for Sarah Ramos Evinger to be president in 2025. Director Howie.
Yes.
Director Krieger.
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Yes.
And myself, yes. Item carries 401, one absent. Director DeMonico. So now it's time for a nomination for the office of Vice President for 2025. Do we have any nominations for Vice President?
I'd like to nominate Director Krieger.
Okay. Do we have any other nominations? Okay, nominations are now closed for vice president. I will now
Need a second?
do it. No,
Did you
we don't
need a second
sec-
on that?
No, we don't need a
You
second.
didn't need a second, okay.
Yeah. I will now request a voice vote for Director Krieger for Vice President 2025, Director Howie.
Okay.
Okay? Yes. Director Krieger,
Yes.
Vice President Ramos Evinger,
Okay.
Wow.
and myself is yes. So item carries 4-0-1, one absent being Director DeMonico. Congratulations, both of you.
I obviously wasn't thinking properly to have Mike as my vice president, but.
Somebody has to have.
Somebody's gotta do it.
All right, we are on to Fire Chief's comments.
Thank you, President Luth. Under special acknowledgements, I wanted to recognize Engineer Kyle Colonna for his commitment as a member of the Honor Guard. Served our Barstow Fire Department partners by sitting overnight at the hospital with Captain Miller's family. If you're not aware of the situation, there was a fire captain who basically went into full arrest at the fire station. His own folks had to work on him and deal with it. And so when things like that happen, it can be very emotional, and the folks that are the closest to you are not necessarily, it's gonna be a tough time for him. So I wanna applaud Kyle for his willingness to go down. And he sat at the hospital, as I understand it, overnight with the Miller family, just to be there for whatever, to talk, to go get a soda or whatever their needs were. So I just wanted to send a heartfelt thank you to Kyle for doing that. It hits home for me because the Barstow Fire Chief is a personal friend of mine of 30 years, so he reached out to me directly to share that. So much gratitude for Kyle. I also wanted to recognize Mount Sac for their assistance in supporting our State of the Fire District luncheon. If you weren't aware, they were very helpful in helping us to get food out to the many folks that came and participated in our event. So thank you very much to Mount Sac for their willingness to help out with our program. Under personnel development activities, the clerk of the board staff members Melania Arredondo and Kelly O'Toole attended the annual CSDA Clerks Conference in San Diego from October 21st to the 23rd. Clerk of the board Angela Robust received her International Institute of Municipal Clerks designation for Master Municipal Clerk. Again, congratulations, Angela, and you're not going to be able to get away that easily. So congratulations, we're very, very proud of you, and you added a whole nother level of commitment to the organization, to the community, so thank you. HR Specialist Boris Ruvaver attended the NeoGov conference, which provides information and educational seminars on the recruitment and performance evaluation programs used by the district. October 14th through the 17th, Deputy and Battalion Chiefs attended the Cal Chiefs Annual Conference in Costa Mesa. Excuse me. Under board activities and public relations, State of the Fire District Luncheon was held on the 24th with great success. Thank you, Rita, for spearheading that, and for everybody who helped participate. I think I want to send a special thank you to our support services technicians. They were Johnny on the spot. They were really able to get all the logistics out there in a timely manner. Thank you to the crews at the fire station that helped them get what they needed to make that event a success. November 1st and 2nd, the Chino Valley Fire District partnered with other local agencies for our very first annual Women's Empowerment Camp. So what that is it's really an opportunity to reach out to young ladies and let them know this is a career that's available to them, share that experience with them. This year, the event was hosted at Rancho Cucamonga Fire. Our female firefighter, Gina Parlett, is part of that cadre. We supported the event in some other ways financially and everything. So I believe next year the event will be hosted here at Chino Valley Fire. So it's really a great outreach tool for us to reach folks that may not otherwise know this is an opportunity that's available for them as a career. So thank you to Gina and to that group of women in general. Board and staff attended Veterans Day activities in the city of Chino and Chino Hills, 2 great events. And we got one of our vice mayor here. Great event, as always, Art. And thank you to the city of Chino for recognizing our veterans and all that they've done to help us be able to live the lives that we live. And thank you for being a veteran. November 6th, our personnel attended First Responders Breakfast, hosted by Papa Chino's Grill and Greens. And we'd like to say thank you to Trina for
her consistent commitment to that over the years, to really reach out and acknowledge what our public safety folks do, and basically feed them breakfast for one day out of the year to say thank you. So thank you to Papa Chino's, Chino, and to our very own Rotary Club who helped sponsor. Under organizational items of interest, the GFOA notified the district that it was successful in receiving the GFOA Distinguished Budget Award for the 24-25 annual budget. So Mark, again, thank you to you and your staff. I know that there's a lot of work that goes into getting that information to those folks so that they can evaluate us fairly. And so thank you to you, and I think Dawn's here tonight, I saw her, and Vicki and Christine. The RFP application process for the construction / project management for Station 68 project will officially close tomorrow, November 14th. And so we're very excited. Once we tally the results from that, then we'll be able to bring forward a recommendation to the board at a future board meeting. So Station 68 project continues to move forward, and we're excited. Under human resource update, currently in the process for recruitment. We are currently in the process for recruitment for a deputy clerk of the board. Under confire items of interest, no new reports. Under emergency response and support, we have single resource assignments assigned personnel at the shoe incident in Northern California in support of mutual aid. Under upcoming meetings and events, Thanksgiving holiday will be closed for November 28th and 29th. The City of Chino Hills Senior Delivery will be held at Chino Hills Community Center on December 3rd. Supervisor Kurt Hagman's Christmas Open House on December 4th. City of Chino Senior Delivery, Chino Senior Center, December 5th. Chino Santa's Workshop and Annual Tree Lighting on December 7th. Chino Hills Tree Lighting Ceremony, December 7th. The Chino Valley Fire Foundation Stuff the Boot and Toy Drive will be on December 8th. Make a Child Smile on December 11th. Chino Hills Boat Parade, December 13th. The Chino Youth Christmas Parade 2024 event on December 14th. Chino Neighborhood House Annual Toy Bike Giveaway, December 20th. And Christmas Eve and Christmas Day will be recognized on December 24th and 25th. And then our New Year's Eve holiday, December 31st and January 1st. Sorry for the long report, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Chief. Time for board comments. Director Howie.
Okay. I think we've been really busy the last month or so. Obviously, the State of the Fire District luncheon was great. Everybody did a great job, and all the comments I heard were phenomenal. Everybody really enjoyed themselves. And I think the district looked pretty good. Very good, in fact. Let's see, went to the Diwali Festival at BAP's Temple with my wife and Director Krieger and his wife, and we had a tour. It was really, my wife had not been inside before, and she was pretty amazed on how, just how festive it was, how, I think we never saw so much food in our whole life. They had food everywhere in there, and so inviting, and it was very impressive. I was really impressed. It was really good. We had a legislative meeting, council meetings. I went to the New Vision Works optometry in Chino, and I walked in. They saw me wearing glasses, so they were smiling at me. I don't know why they did that, but I'm sure that. Anyway, let's see what else. Veterans Day in Chino, the celebration on Monday was excellent. Chino hasn't done it for a long time. That particular celebration for Veterans Day, always the Memorial Day is done by our, the American Legion has always done that. But Chino has picked that up a few years ago, and it's really, really done well, I think. It's less than an hour. It just runs like clockwork, and it's very patriotic, and it's really good. So if you haven't had a chance, you should go to that. Guess you got to wait a year now. And then met with the chief, and let's see what else. And I guess that's it. Just have a great Thanksgiving. That'll do it.
Okay, Director Krieger.
All right, I attended many of the same events that the chief mentioned, that Tom mentioned as well. Angela, congratulations. Is there a PhD version of it, or does it stop at master's?
It stops at master's.
Are you sure? Okay. Mark, congratulations on the GFOA, and thank you to your staff for that. State of the District was fantastic. Thank you to everybody that participated in that. And I'll conclude my comments.
Okay, Vice President Ramos Evinger.
Okay, I attended a couple of the Chino Hills council meetings, the State of the Fire District. Rita, thank you for your vision, and thank you to everyone who participated in that. I know it's a lot of hard work, but I have to say, the comments that I received back from everybody is what a fabulous event. They love that we get straight to the point, that the video, everything. Some of the folks that I had invited had not attended before, and they learned a lot about our district, and I was really pleased to hear that, how much they learned in that short time.
Even the food was good.
The food was yummy too. Also, I had a finance committee and HR committee meeting, my meeting with the fire chief. And we held our annual trunk or treat event at Western Hills for the Canyon folks. And I just wanna thank Danielle, and I wanna thank Lena, and all staff for the help. Chief, thank you for joining us that day. I really appreciate the union for coming in and helping and cooking hot dogs. It seems like we get more and more folks. We even had a lot of golfers that came in, learning about, which was nice because they came to chat and they learned about the Fire Safe Council, which that is our goal, is the outreach to the community, and we do it in a such where they can bring the children, and that was a wonderful event. And thank you, Councilman Bennett, for you continue to support me in my efforts, our efforts in that, and we appreciate that. And I hope everyone enjoyed seeing the Headless Horseman, which is that's always a nice treat. But I really want to thank everybody for your support for that effort there. And had a Fire Safe Council meeting, the first responders event. That was nice. I'm glad that we do recognize not just our agencies locally, but they invite everyone, all first responders, to this event. And I also attended the City of Chino Hills and the City of Chino's Veterans Day event. And I can't see Angela because she's hiding behind her flowers, which she probably really likes, but congratulations again. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for all you do for us and for the district. Appreciate that as well. And I just want to congratulate, I'm sorry that we couldn't have Corey here this evening, but I'm glad we still got to recognize him for his 20 years. And congratulations to him, and I appreciate his dedication to our community. And with that, I want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I told my wife it's gonna be a long meeting, so I need to drag this out a little bit.
Do you want my rest of my comments?
Yeah.
I have 2 more pages.
I thought it was gonna be quite long.
You got 2 minutes.
So yeah, a lot of the same stuff, a few Chino council meetings, chief one-on-one, we had our special board meeting, finance meeting. Attended the Halloween event that Chino did at Yellow Park. That was quite an event, well done. We had an agenda meeting in there. The Veterans Day event, both cities did a great job. It's interesting, they're different, but they are both so well done and very moving, and just a great tribute to our veterans. So thank you, Art, to Chino Hills, and Chino did a great job with their event as well. The State of the District, yeah, as everybody's already said, was a wonderful event. So well done, well organized. I got a lot of comments from people as well about what a nice event that was, how well it went off, and it was very punctual, and we kept moving it along, and they very much enjoyed it. So thank you, certainly to Rita and everybody else. I'm sure you had lots of help dealing with whatever had to be dealt with. So thank you to everybody who had anything to do with that. Congratulations, Angela. That's quite an accomplishment. Same to Mark and your team for the GFOA award again, once again. You know, we start assuming we're gonna get those, but there's nothing to assume. There's still a lot of work, and we know it takes quite an effort, so thank you for that. Congratulations to Corey for his 20 years, and Sarah for your 15 years. And we're looking forward to your presidency starting in a few weeks, and Mike as vice president. Look forward to your leadership roles. there's there's an upcoming, AAD, that we're doing at Ayala Park, the do we know the time? I think it's on the 23rd, but.
9 a.m.
Yes, we do it as, let's see here,
9 a.m., right, Melanie?
November 23rd at 9 a.m.
9, okay, thank you. I didn't think the paper, I think if I remember right, they didn't have the time on it, so thank you. And certainly, yeah, want to make sure everybody attends the Make a Child Smile on the 11th. Again, thank you to the foundation for that event, for keeping that going all these years. What a wonderful event. There's so many events, as the chief read off and on his report. There's a lot coming up in December, there always is. Look forward to seeing everybody, as many events as we're able to attend. And my last comment is on the 23rd of this month in Chino, the 7th Street Theater is celebrating 40 years. 40 years. So they're doing a special little deal where they're gonna be talking about the previous decades. I will do a little presentation on the Kiwanis involvement there. But if you have any interest in attending that, please check their website and get your tickets. There'll be a dinner and a show that I believe is gonna be at the community building where they originally started, so.
You know, they weren't at the theater there now 4 years ago, right?
No, they weren't at that theater 4
Right.
years ago,
Yeah.
no, they
Yeah.
started in the community building.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
So if you have an opportunity, come join that. It'll be fun just to reminisce about some shows in the past. And with that, the meeting will be adjourned to a regular meeting of the Board of Directors of the Chino Valley Independent Fire District to be held on Wednesday, December 11, 2024, at 6 p.m. at the Fire District Administrative Headquarters located at 14011 City Center Drive, Chino Hills, California, 91709, and we are adjourned.
Good job.